Hello, hello. Good morning, continuous liners. This is Meagan Burns coming to you live from the skies of San Miguel de Allende with my beautiful latte that I made. Hello, muy buenos dias. Delicious organic coffee from Chiapas. I'm a big fan of the sustainable coffee trade here in Mexico. It's a tough business, right? And there's lots of fraud, just like chocolate, just like olive oil, just like wine, right? Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mexican coffee. So here I have my beautiful Chiapas coffee up here, sitting on the rooftop of this beautiful home that I'm staying at here in San Miguel de Allende as I look for more permanent housing. But I kind of like it today because the sun's not super intense. There's some nice clouds. There's what is that? That's San Francisco. Right over here, you can't see the church because the church is... Here, wait, let me see if I can stand up and you can see just the tippy top of it. No? Can you see it? Well, anyways, it's behind that big tree. So I'm just down the street on Relo, and wonderful location. And so I thought, well, the thing about the cafes in San Miguel is they're all indoors except for like one, which is the one I've been going to. And when they're indoors, that means there's music and there's people talking. And so I just decided to go up to the rooftop today and with my beautiful latte, my poncho, and my sketchbook. How are we all doing? I see Elaine Bowie. I hope you're doing well, Elaine. I see Susie. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. So I just made a new sketchbook here in San Miguel. I mean, it's the same. It's nothing new, but it's their, I fill my sketchbooks as we do. This is my continuous line warm-up sketchbook. And when I fill it, I make a new one. And these are also the books that I bring on my workshops. I'm going to Oaxaca next week, meeting some of you down there. And everyone gets one of these with the beautiful logo and a few other treats that I've been working on. So, yeah, if you're with me, get your ballpoint pen. Do you know how hard it was for me to find my ballpoint pen today? I had to rip apart everything. You would think someone like me would have my ballpoint pen easy access. Well, I'm here to say no, it isn't always easy access. So anyways, get your ballpoint pen and your copy paper. And let's do some line warm-ups here in the beautiful San Miguel de Allende skies. It was super bright when I came out here this morning. I'm glad that it's a little cloudy now. So, yeah, what am I going to do today? I'm going to do diagonal ramen. Oh, my goodness, what is diagonal ramen? Well, it's like a brick of ramen turned on its side. On its diagonal before you cook it. All my lines, most of them have noodle references. So there's the diagonal ramen. Sometimes we have uncooked spaghetti. Sometimes we have spaghetti. There's a lot of ramen in the world of continuous line. Which is good for like teeth when you're drawing. It's good for rooftops. It's a good texturing tool. So, yeah, it's got its own rhythm, and once you kind of get into the groove of it, it kind of just takes over, right? I believe a lot of the continuous line with practice is it's intuitive drawing. And you go, oh my God, what is that? Well, intuitive drawing is a balance of skill and letting go. It's a balance of skill and letting go. And I believe that not only comes in practice, but practice really helps that, right? Like I find that the more I just do simple line warm-ups, like what I'm doing right now. Like, for example, this weekend, I was writing all weekend, and on Saturday night, I knew that there was like a band in the Jardín, so I wanted to go see if I could do some night sketching. Well, the band was too big and there was too many people. But over to the side, the mariachis were serenading a lovely señorita. which I'd never seen before. I'd never seen a person in that balcony. And so yeah, night sketching. I got my sketchbook out. There's people, there's mariachis, there's parades. There's a big parade for Allende this weekend, so guys walking around with tiki torches. Not those tiki torches, but sort of like revolutionary. Well, there you go, revolutionary tiki torches. I guess that's what a lot of them are, right? Okay, I'm not going to get into the whole tiki torch thing. So anyways, night sketching. Mariachis in their white suits all in front of me. People too, but I was just looking at the mariachis, right? You see they got their tight pants on. You can see all their butts and everything. And they're singing and they're playing music. And I was like, okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. And I put my pen down and I just drew. I wasn't always looking at them, but I was like, just draw the mariachis. Just draw their shapes, right? They're white, blobby, musical shapes, right? And so if I was all concerned about, oh wait, no, his leg is going this way, and he's got horses on the side of his pants, and oh, he's got sideburns, right? Like I can't get too worried about that. I just have to let go. And honestly, when I let go and just let my pen, I've drawn enough mariachis, and it's not even mariachis. I've drawn enough people to kind of get the gist. And the thing about mariachis is you really see their butts. Their butts. They got their tight pants on, as Jimmy Fallon says. So, and it was a really fun, festive situation, right? I'm out there by myself. Everyone's singing and drinking and woohoo, mariachis laughing and playing. It was beautiful. And I just said, put your pen down and start drawing this thing. And I did. And it was literally I think it was an 8-minute sketch, if it was even that. I probably timed it, but I don't remember. I was done very quickly. Another benefit of continuous line, you see here's how my diagonal ramen is coming along here. So with practice, this is what I like. I'm taking a group to Oaxaca next week. I think for a lot of people, the idea of sketching a parade is like, are you kidding me? Sketching a parade while you're standing in the parade. But it's not about being accurate. It's about conveying the essence and the energy of a situation. And honestly, the parades and just the life is lived in the streets in Mexico. That's why I believe it's such a beautiful place to be an artist and for myself to do workshops, because life is lived in the streets in Mexico. Here in San Miguel, very much so. Mexico City, very different. Oaxaca, very different. But, there's a bunch of hummingbirds right there. But it's a beautiful place to be an artist because there's so much activity out in the streets, right? So, the idea of sketching a parade, it's not about being accurate, it's about conveying an energy, right? And with practice, with a continuous line practice, it gets easier, right? And it's just about really having fun. It's not about rules. It's not about rules. It's about conveying the energy of the situation you're in and having fun, right? I mean, I myself, I work hard as an artist. I spend a lot of time practicing, right? So when I get out there and go sketch things, I want to have fun. I want to have fun with it, right? Fun with the people I'm sketching with and just fun in the situation. I don't want it to be this serious, you have to be architectural correct. You can't look at your phone or we're going to shoot you. The police are going to come arrest you, right? Now, there's no continuous line police. There's no urban sketching police in my workshops either. Now, do we look at phones? Not really. I sometimes do to line things up. I take a photo just to see how I want to frame it. But then I put my phone away, right? Only because I'm more skilled and I kind of understand. I can compositionally do things more skillfully because I have a continuous line practice, and it has taught me how to work with composition a little bit better. I've also gotten I'm much more into simplifying, whereas I used to do every detail and draw out to the corner of every page. Now I'm much more, I simplify in my continuous line, and I like the evolution of it. That doesn't mean I'm going to stay there forever, but I like the evolution of when you're talking about sketching here in Mexico, and this could be said for a lot of places, but in Mexico there's so much ornate. San Miguel, I don't know if you can see, is just full of churches. And where are they? Oh, I can't see which way they are. Oh, there they are. I think that's Bellas Artes and the Las Monjas. Very ornate Baroque architecture. Everything is ornate and crazy. Then you got mariachis, and then you got taco vendors, and you got ladies selling dolls, and it's all very intense, right? Detail intense. But over time, through an elegant line, I can capture it much more effectively. The elegant line. Well, what is the elegant line? Well, the elegant line it's a line that you feel that you can tell it's got confidence, right? I certainly have had my years of, what am I doing? Right? I remember in a drawing lesson, my instructor looked at my drawing and said, "Oh, I can see this. That's where you stop breathing right there," because my lines went, "Oh God, I'm so scared," right? And people who don't draw may not understand the concept of drawing fears. Like, what do you mean you're afraid to draw? Well, there's a lot of emotional baggage around drawing, and anyone who is actively drawing knows exactly what I'm talking about. There's all these voices from our past. In my case, it was my mother, just because she thought my brother was the artist, and honestly, she was just a frustrated artist herself who just had her own blocks, right? And so there's all this emotional baggage around drawing, and I don't know anyone who doesn't have it in some form. With practice, it lessens, right? Like you learn how to tame or at least corner that monkey mind, right? At least temporarily until the next sheet of white paper. So the drawing fears that can sometimes paralyze all of us. Like oh my God, a new sketchbook. Well, this is just my drawing warm-up book, which, might I add, in the drawing warm-ups, you don't draw anything. This is when you ask your ego to just step aside and say, I'm just going to do some lasagna noodles, some ramen noodles, some uncooked spaghetti, some angry ramen. I have a whole language around my continuous line, just because it's part of my daily practice, right? So why not give it its own name? And if you remember, something I've often said is that it's okay to first of all, it's okay to break your line, and it's especially okay to break your line if you need a sip of coffee. Beautiful Monday morning here in San Miguel. A little bit hazy. There's a little bit of a pink tinge, gray tinge to the sky. The colors of San Miguel are unbeatable. Unbeatable, really. And you know what's so cool about Mexico? It's like every city's got its own color scheme. The colors change throughout the day for sure. But, like when I think of Sayulita, it's very pink and mossy and green and beachy, right? But San Miguel's got like this earthier oranges and pinks. Well, everything's orange too. The buildings are not pink. Like Guanajuato was like totally like popcorn, pop, 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 with its colors, orange, blue, turquoise, pink. Here it's earthy oranges and yellows and pinks and flowers and greens, and it's beautiful. I'm creating events here in San Miguel for the next couple of months for the local sketchers, to go out and do some cool activities and have some cool and interesting food and learn about some stuff. So I'm kind of excited. I had to take off my Semana Santa workshop because no one signed up for it. And, that was a tough week anyway, Semana Santa. Lots of people come to Mexico for Semana Santa, but I couldn't coax the Skechers to come here. So that's all right. I'm pulling that, and I'm creating some other local events just for this season. And it's kind of what I do. It's what I do. It's funny. I get told by some that I'm, not qualified to teach urban sketching or whatever. It's what I do. I teach quick sketching. I teach continuous line drawing. I encourage people to work past their drawing fears. I encourage them to learn more about composition through a continuous line practice, which then helps build confidence, which then the cycle repeats, right? Because when you feel good about your drawing, when you feel good, and we're not always feeling good about our drawing. We all bomb occasionally, but when you feel good, when you feel somewhat successful in the thing that you've drawn, you're more apt to do it again, right? Because if you're frustrated and go, that looks like hell, right? Like I'm trying to draw that donkey and it looks like a giraffe, whatever. So the continuous line practice, my curriculum is designed to make you feel better. And I think that's so important in this day and age because a lot of things make us feel bad, right? There's a lot of bad news out there. There's a lot of, the outlook is pretty uncertain. The outlook is always uncertain. That's just the way life is. But, politically, globally, the whole climate change, these are big social issues. They're really affecting the world loudly. And honestly, I think loudly. Who do I sound like? Just because of the nature of the era we're in with technology and everything moves so fast, we get like bad news from all around the world in a 5-minute look into our phone, right? So we're able to get bad news from around the world in less time than it takes to drink your coffee, right? And so we're inundated with all these bad stories and things that make us nervous, right? No matter what your beliefs are, I don't know how people cannot feel a little nervous about things, right? So what are you going to do? You're going to just stay home and cry, sit on the edge of your bed and cry? That's an option, right? I certainly have done it, but it's not how I want to live out the rest of my years, right? I'm at a place where I'm designing the rest of my life like I have never done before. Only because I know I'm not going to live forever. I laugh at that, and we all know that, but I think that there are certain times in life where that hits differently, right? Like when my mother died, that all changed for me. All of a sudden, I went from focusing of like, I'm such a bad person, everything's wrong with me, I can't do anything right. And after my mother died, I was like, okay, wait a minute, I see the finish line down there, and these are the things I want to do before I get to my finish line, right? And drawing is a big part of that. Drawing is a huge part of that. And, I'm building a drawing empire. And when I say that to people, they laugh in my face, right? They go, drawing empire. Why not? Someone's got to have a drawing empire. Why not me? Why not you? Right? Oh my gosh, my ramen is looking so beautiful. And what's so nice about it is it's all different, right? Like it's not uniform. I'm sitting here yakking. I'm decluttering my mind by chatting about what's going on and telling you a little bit about what I'm up to and sharing the beautiful experience of having the opportunity to stay in this beautiful home in the middle of San Miguel de Allende. Just the church is on the other side of that tree. So, it's like 2 blocks. And, so there's concerts up there. There's always something going on. You got nothing to do, go to the Jardín, right? Because you'll either run into somebody or you'll hear something or you'll watch some music or whatever. You sit there and you just enjoy the Jardín, right? It's a beautiful opportunity just to connect with humanity, right? And I'm big on that. I feel like Mexico is big on that because there's just a different pace to life. Yeah, there's a lot of people hustling and people working. This is not like, I haven't been asked in a while, but I used to be asked like, oh, how are you enjoying your retirement? I'm not retired. I work around the clock, right? I know plenty other people that do. Maybe not so much here in San Miguel, because this is a retirement village for sure, but there's plenty of people hustling, right? So, but there's a different pace to life in that. Life, things are acknowledged, right? Like, even the equinoxes, right? The different seasons, they're acknowledged here, usually through parades, and it doesn't say like, winter solstice parade or anything like that. But there are, because they're so in tune with like the farming and just ancestral, cultural, with agriculture and the seasons and the moon, there's a lot of acknowledgement to that, whether it's parades or festivals or drumming. There's always something like that, right? And as I said, life has always lived in the streets in Mexico. So, living here may not be for everyone. It took me years to get, I'm from Chicago, and I arrived here and I was like, oh my God, everyone's walking so slow and everyone takes a nap, and are you kidding me? It's not so much like that anymore, but when I arrived here, I was like, banks would shut down in the afternoon, and that's just the slow pace and the disorganization. It drove me crazy. But now I must be crazy because I love it. I go back to the United States and I feel like I'm in prison. It is a prison there, right? Like everything is so regulated, everything is so organized, everything is... no, that's not to say it's not disorganized, because it certainly is, but it's just a whole different, it's very work focused in the United States, and I suppose someone has to do that, but oh God, I cannot roll with that anymore. I still work. I work around the clock, basically, but there's also just a different pace here that I love. Yeah. So I'm coming to the end. Well, not quite yet. I'm filling my diagonal ramen page here. I'm going to take a sip of coffee, though, because it's okay to break your line, to pet a dog, to cry, to laugh, to drink your coffee, or to scratch your ear. I need to heat this up. It got cold. Yeah, continuous line practice. Those of you here in San Miguel, I'm going to be rolling out some fun events this week, and then I'm taking off for Oaxaca, which I'm super excited for. My workshop down there. I'll go to Mexico City for a few days, see what they got going on. My Mexico City workshop is almost full. I got a few more spaces, so I'm going to go confirm some details while I'm there. So... here, I'm going to finish big with a heart in the corner of my ramen page. Diagonal ramen. Yeah, it's a really good way, because you know what it basically is it's cursive R's. And you may be conditioned to do the R going forward, but it's the R going backwards that can really trip you up. But with practice, it gets easier. So I'm going to just do one big heart over here. Yeah, finish big with a heart, right? Every single one of us is struggling with something, trying to work our way through something, sad about something, worried about something, right? There's a lot. It's basically a pretty big shit show out there. So, find the thing that helps calm you down, right? Like for me, when I do my line warm-ups, it's a way for me to get centered. Well, I also oftentimes am talking with you, so it helps me it is my medicine, right? It helps me sort of just kind of go whoom, and not be so like, oh my God, what's wrong in the world? What's going on? Oh my God, they're coming to get us, or oh my God, right? So by doing this, it just helps me focus on my line. And by focusing on my line, I get a more elegant line. So when I go out there to sketch the mariachis in their tight pants and their buns, I can maybe get that butt cheek in one beautiful, elegant line, or not, right? Like it doesn't mean that it's perfect. It's just, I like the practice of it, right? And San Miguel has, and Mexico has, the world has a lot of opportunities to practice your elegant lines, right? Like, I'm living in Mexico. I have my workshops in Mexico, and so I'm focused on that. But you know, the world is a big oyster, and there's lots of things to draw everywhere, lots of cool things. And you know, whatever my time is between now and my finish line, I hope that I have an opportunity to go sketch the world, right? I want to go sketch the world before my time is up. I want to go, I love Mexico, I love living here, but I want to go out there and sketch the world. So that is my goal for 2024, is to create more workshop opportunities where I'm with myself and others who want to go out there and see and sketch the world, that you'll join me. But I'm also going to continue to do this online, right? So anyways, there we go. There's my sermon for today. Do your diagonal ramen. Birds are fighting over there. Do your practice warm-ups. Tell your stories. The world needs freehand storytellers, right? We're being inundated with AI, right? AI is it's going to be choking us in the future, right? So, be an artist, be a freehand, be your own artist. Don't try to be like someone else. Don't try to copy someone else. Be your own artist. Tell your own stories. And drink delicious Chiapas coffee under the beautiful San Miguel de Allende skies, right? Delicious. Okay, everyone, have a good day. Be an artist, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.